You want a version that hits like real American storytelling, smooth, emotional, full of tension and lived experience, with everything flowing in a single breath from beginning to end. All right, let's get into it. No breaks, no labels, just pure, cinematic storytelling, with every beat as close to spoken rhythm as possible. You ever have one of those mornings where everything's on the line? You know? That was Sarah Hayes, just another Monday, but also the kind of day that could change her whole community. She'd spent the whole night rehearsing, her kitchen lit up with sticky notes and grant stats, her mind already halfway at the city office, pitching for that $5 million grant that might actually get some real health resources to people who needed it. She was this calm force, director at the Pinehurst Health Initiative, mother of two teenage boys, and so practiced at being twice as prepared as anybody else in every room she entered, and still, none of it ever really kept her safe. She hustles her kids out the door, Marcus, tall and already so protective, Elijah, quieter but sharp, asking if she'll be home before dinner. She laughs, promises, smooths her navy suit, checks her hair, every detail meant to say I belong, I'm in charge, I'm not just another face you can overlook. And for a while, it works. She's driving through that sleepy Ohio town, mentally rehearsing every word of her presentation, but her mind skips, she's left the damn stats on her home office desk. She curses, swings a quick U-turn, just a little fast, 7, maybe 8 over. No big deal, right? Except she notices the cruiser tucked behind a faded billboard, and before she can even process, it pulls out, slow at first, then matching her speed. No lights, no sirens, just that shadow tailing her, and you can feel your heart rate pick up, even if you know you haven't done anything wrong. 3 blocks, then the lights hit. She pulls into a convenience store, parks perfect, hands it 10 and 2, just like her dad taught her, just like she taught her boys. This is a ritual. She does everything right because she knows that in her world, doing everything right is a survival skill, not just a good habit. Out steps Officer Wilson, all square jaw and attitude, hand hovering by his holster. His partner, Reynolds, circles the car. There's no good morning, no explanation, just license and registration. She keeps her voice steady, calm, explaining every movement. Wilson isn't listening. He's just looking for a reason. She asks, politely, what this is about. He snaps, registration issue. She knows that's not right. It was cleared up a month ago. She's got the paperwork, but he won't even look. Step out of the vehicle. She tries again, tells him she's on her way to a meeting. She's got the stats she's needed. Now, or you'll be charged with resisting. No winning here, only minimizing the damage. She steps out, hands up. And now the act begins. Wilson claims he smells something suspicious, searches her car without cause, trashes her presentation, months of work blowing down the parking lot like confetti. She pleads, tells him those papers are important. He smirks, says she should have thought of that before, being difficult. Bystanders start recording. She sees an older black woman across the street, shaking her head in sympathy, years of history in that one gesture. They cuff Sarah, too tight, arms twisted, push her into the car. Her sons will come home to an empty house. She's taken to the station, left in holding for hours, denied her phone call, treated like an inconvenience or a threat. Sergeant Collins just watches, bored, as if he's seen it 100 times and never cared once. She hears the officers talking Wilson and Carter, the lieutenant. They're not building a case. They're building a story. Make it stick. We can't have another complaint. They pile on charges, resisting, drug possession, even assault. Knowing every step is another layer of protection for themselves, another trap for her. They toss her into a cell with other women, all minorities, all with their own horror stories. Tanya, in for a busted tail light that wasn't even broken, laughs, classic Carter playbook. Stop, escalate, fabricate, incarcerate. Been happening for years. Sarah feels her composure cracking but keeps it together, because falling apart is a luxury she can't afford. Finally, they let her call her sister. Alexis. If you want to talk about a twist of fate, Alexis isn't just any sister. She's a captain in Army intelligence, sharp as a blade, used to war zones and back channels. Sarah uses their old family code for, I'm in real trouble. Alexis picks up the signal, shifts into battle mode. She calls in every favor, runs background checks, contacts the DOJ, the state AG, even a friend in the FBI. In less than 2 hours, she knows more about the Pinehurst PD than half the officers working there. Alexis shows up at the station, civilian clothes, but every inch of her radiates authority. She demands to see Carter, talks to him like an equal, refuses to be brushed off, starts making calls right at the desk, governor, DOJ, state AG, dropping names like she's shuffling cards. Carter bluffs, but Alexis is 2 moves ahead. She doesn't yell, doesn't threaten, just lays out facts and lets him realize he's outmatched. Meanwhile, Sarah is still in the cell, wrist raw, charges multiplying by the hour, but she hears Alexis's voice through the walls and knows the cavalry is coming. The next act is a blur. Alexis gets hold of bystander video, traffic cams, internal records. Every thread she pulls unravels more. Wilson and Reynolds both transferred in after misconduct elsewhere. Carter's tied up in old lawsuits. The department's racial stop stats are off the charts. Alexis brings in Sarah's attorney, Andrea Bennett, and now it's not just about getting Sarah out. It's about burning down the rotten tree. Community allies start to rally, videos go viral, stories get shared, old wounds surface. The PD tries to fight back, intimidating witnesses, editing records, spinning stories for the local news, but it's too late. The evidence stacks up. When Alexis returns in uniform, medals gleaming, official clearance in her pocket, nobody's laughing anymore. She parks in the chief's spot, walks in, demands an emergency meeting, lays out the full story, every complaint, every doctored file, every dirty trick. Detective Green from Internal Affairs backs her up. The captain's cornered, Carter's red-faced, Wilson and Reynolds know they're done. Either you release Sarah now and start cleaning house, or by morning the DOJ will be here with warrants. The decision isn't hard. Sarah's released, wrist bruised but head high, her story already out in the world. The department tries to smear her, leak fake stories to the media, even offer hush money to drop it all. Sarah and Alexis just double down, more documentation, more calls, more community action. There are threats, intimidation, even a late-night call warning Sarah to back off or next time it won't just be handcuffs. But she's done being quiet. Every scare tactic just becomes more evidence. By the time the DOJ comes down, it's not just about Sarah. It's dozens of victims, years of corruption. Officers are fired, the chief steps down, Carter flees with a shredded pension, and the department is forced into federal oversight. Sarah gets justice, not just for herself, but for everyone who's ever been stopped, searched, or shamed for nothing but being in the wrong skin at the wrong time. Sarah takes her place on the new Civilian Oversight Board. Alexis sets up a consulting firm to help other communities fight back, and Marcus and Elijah, once just scared kids waiting for mom to come home, start advocacy groups at school. The whole town learns that silence protects the wrong people, and sometimes you need someone willing to burn down the system, brick by brick, file by file, minute by minute, until there's nothing left but the truth. So here's the real question. If you saw someone's rights being trampled, would you be the one holding the camera, looking away, or standing up to call it out? Drop a comment. Have you ever seen justice done, not because the system worked, but because someone forced it to? Hit like if you believe power should answer to the people, and share this with someone who thinks fighting back never changes anything. Because, sometimes it only takes one person, one story, and a whole lot of receipts to change everything.